a small block, man. I promise you that. That's why I'm keeping this car a small block. We're not gonna go with no LS in this or nothing like that. What's good, grind schoolers? It's your boy Rob, and today we in the shop. So today what we're just gonna do is we're just gonna move the Impala and the Elko out because I am in the process of painting the Monte Carlo, or trying to get the primer on the Monte Carlo, and I would have just covered up the Elko like I did before, or like I was doing before. But now that it's starting to warm up, I don't have a problem with the Elko, you know what I'm saying, like being on the driveway. It did rain yesterday or last night, so, but I think that's over with. I did just wash both cars, so I don't want to get them that dirty. They're still kind of dusty, but, you know, not as dirty as they were before. With the Elko, I just cleaned it. It looks really nice, and I don't want to put that car cover back on it because the car cover is really dusty, and then it just get dusty again. Not that, you know, it getting dusty or being clean, it makes a difference because it's not going nowhere, but, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I like to walk in the garage and see my cars clean. So anyways, both of them are dead. Both of them need to be jumped, but both of them being next to each other, both being dead, I can't jump them, so I have to push them out the garage, and that's what we got to do. So it sucks, but it is what it is. With these things just sitting here and not like getting any action, any love, it just is what it is. I mean, they're just gonna keep dying, I guess, until summertime, and I can keep driving them. And my trickle charger, I ran over it, so that's the reason why I didn't put either one on the trickle charger, or it hasn't been on the trickle charger. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and invest in a couple of them just so that I don't have to, you know, worry about it too much. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and push the cars out. We'll jump them when they need to come back into the garage, and then, you know, it just is what it is. But anyways, man, before I jump into the video, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, let's get to it. All right, y'all. So we got to pull both cars out. And you know what I'm saying, I just wanted to throw y'all on for a little bit, man, so y'all can hear the cars run. This one is dead. The Impala's dead. The Elko was dead too. But I pushed it out and I jumped it, so that's why it's running like that. I'll go down there in a second. But you know what I'm saying, the Impala, I probably am gonna have to push this one out too and then jump it and let it run for a second so that it starts back up when I put it in the garage. If not, we just jump it too. I use my big boy to, you know what I'm saying, jump the Elko, so that's why the Elko is running. And then we also got the pumping up too because the tire was flat. Man, this cold weather, man, it kills these things if you're not driving them. But yeah, I got it, you know what I'm saying, just warmed up, or warming it up right now. Man, that cam ain't nothing like a small block, man. I promise you that. That's why I'm keeping this car a small block. We're not gonna go with no LS in this or nothing like that. Just keep it conventional. Plus, I like the way this looks in the car, you know what I mean? But we'll just upgrade it and do what we gotta do. But you know what I mean? You can see the white smoke. It's a little cold out here. Y'all can hear that cam chopping, man. Sounds nasty, boy. Woo. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But yeah, so anyways, I'm letting this warm up for a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and push the Impala out, and then I'll start that up and let it run for a second. Yeah, so let me go ahead and push the Impala, and then hopefully I can push it. Actually, I had to have some help last time. I had to have the wife help me, but I think I might be able to do it. So let me see. I'll set y'all up, and then I'll push the car out, and then we'll see if it works. First of all, I'm gonna see if it starts back up in a second. So I'm gonna stop it, start it back up. Hopefully it starts. And I'm gonna try to start it periodically and see what's up. But yeah, man. All right, y'all, crisis averted. So right here, there's like a little dip-ish, a little bit right here where the garage meets the driveway. It's like a little tiny dip, and when the wheels get up in that little dip right here and right here on the flat part of the driveway, the car like it'll stop. So that's why, you know what I'm saying, like it stopped on me, and the door was open just enough for me to be able to squeeze my foot through and push it with my foot. But that's what was going on last time. The car was too close to this area here, and I couldn't like open the door and use my foot to push it out. That's why I had to have some help last time, but I was able to get it by myself this time. I went to try to start up the Elco again, and it died again. So I did use the battery that was like has been sitting for a minute. I might have to upgrade all the batteries in the cars. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to, but I don't know, man. I don't know why it keeps dying like that, both of them. The Elco's usually good, but, you know, I guess just this weather, man. I've been trying to drive them as much as I can and start them up as much as I can, but, you know what I mean? I guess just not enough. It's just not enough. So anyways, we got both cars out of the garage, man, looking real spiffy. I've cleaned both of them up within the last couple of weeks. So obviously we ain't got to do nothing like that. It is overcast, so I wish the sun would come back out, but I don't think there's going to be any rain or nothing like that, so they're fine for being out here for now. You guys will see the video of me primering the car, but that's the reason why I got the cars out. I decided to put this in a separate video because, you know what I'm saying, the primer of the car is going to be probably quite a bit, and I don't want to start mixing up videos, but I thought I'd cut y'all on and show y'all the cars. You know what I mean? We getting ready for summertime, and hopefully we can keep these things out of the garage and on the road. I think the next thing I'll probably do is try to figure out what's going on with the back wheel, and then also too, I'll show you guys. There's a small coolant leak somewhere. I don't know, man. Like I said, when you don't drive these things at all, it's just like it's all bad. So things happen, things pop up. I'm ready to take these door panels off. That's why they're not bolted down or anything, because I'm going to use some different ones, some better ones, some original ones, I guess you could say. But I had the car on, and I think the reason why, well, no, that can't be. I mean, it feels pretty tight. This belt is a new belt, and maybe I'll tighten it up a little bit more, but I probably got to replace that other belt. But this belt was giving me problems last summer, and when I had the car started, it looked like it was like loose. So I don't know if the alternator's slipping or whatever. I've had this alternator since I had the car, so who knows? I mean, the alternator is working, so, you know, I'm not really tripping on that. But there's quite a few things that I want to upgrade about this motor. We'll probably just rebuild it, keep it small block, and keep it moving. That's probably one of my next adventures. Like, this car really has been pieced together, and it's been great working, you know what I mean, for quite a while. But I think I'm getting close to getting ready to overhaul it. Like I said, I wanted to thug it out through this summer if we can, and then, you know, if we're not, we'll go ahead and just tear it down. But a few things I really want to do. I think I'm gonna keep it carbureted too. See, I got a nice little coolant leak. I think it's coming from here. It usually happens like very intermittently. Like, I'll get a puddle of coolant, and then it's probably coming from here. I'll get a puddle of coolant, and then I'll dry it up, and then it won't be there after I've driven the car. So I don't know if the gasket tape in there is going bad or whatever, but it's only intermittent. It doesn't happen all the time. So I guess that's where my coolant leak is coming from. The whole cooling system is brand new anyway, with the exception of the water pump. The water pump's been on here since I built the motor, but you can see I had to cut the bracket and modify it. Like, I want to go with a front serpentine system, electric water pump, electric fans. Like I told you guys in the last video, I got the fuel pump right there ready to go. I got the bracket ready to go. I'm gonna have to get that repowder coated, but it is what it is. And it'll get rid of this nasty trash. The whole front serpentine system, I won't have to worry about the belts anymore. The radiator that the water pump that kind of rusted out a little bit. The headers kind of rusted out a little bit. So my goal is to take this motor out, rebuild it. It has new pistons and all that, new rings. Everything's all brand new in there. But I think I want to do a 383 crank, get it all balanced up, get everything taken out, put back together. I'll probably switch up the heads. I'll probably go with like some AFRs. And I definitely want to switch up the headers, because the headers immediately when I first put these on, they rusted out like that. So they used to look, when I first put them on, they used to look pretty clean, but obviously over time, heat, the elements being outside, they rusted out. So I definitely want to switch those up so that they're a lot cleaner. Switch the valve covers up, the intake manifold, and like I said, I'm debating whether I should keep this conventional or just like carbureted. I'm wondering if I should keep it carbureted or not. I kind of am leaning towards that direction, because over the years, I've started to understand carburetors and how they work, and they're super simple. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever I've had fuel issues or, sputtering issues, you just go turn the key, whatever, or turn the idle mixture screws, get it nice and adjusted. And then if I get a new crank, I have a harmonic balancer so I could like time the car perfectly. I feel like the car's been running great. Like I haven't had no stutter, no sputter, no shutting off, nothing the whole entire summer. I can hit the gas and it's responsive. So I don't know, we'll see what happens, but I might keep it like that. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. But other than that, man, like there's really not a whole lot that the Elko needs, but I do want to overhaul it, man. I think this motor looks great, how we built it, but it's got to come out, and I want to make everything nice and clean, probably weld in that plate, and then re-black it out real clean. You see I got some overspray and stuff like that I could fix. Probably get some billet hood hinges, because the hood is nice. I don't know if y'all ever seen it like that. Like if you've been following me for a while, you remember when I painted this, but you know what I'm saying, like everything is nice and cleaned up. It's dirty, but I want the bottom side to match a little bit better too. So that's down the road, but I'm thinking about like when I tear everything out, like the rear end and the gas tank and all that, and I undercoat it, I'm thinking about doing the rest at the same time or close to the same time. But we'll see, man. Like I said, that's down the road. I'm definitely keeping this motor though, because this car got a lot of power in it, and I've never tapped all of it, so I'm interested to see that. I don't want to take this out, go LS, take another 2 years, 3 years, however long it take to go LS, and then you know what I'm saying, like my car's just sitting up, and when I have, when it could be making the same or if not more power, you know what I mean? Because small blocks, they're better if you're trying to do all motor. LS better for boost, and I'm probably not gonna boost this car ever. So anyways, man, this one here, we gotta just maintain, gotta get my alignment and everything else done, get some bolts and stuff, and then this one should be good to go. I'm gonna rock with the wheels that I got for the summer. I was gonna try to switch it up, but this car still is not, it's not all the way right like it needs to be, and I'm not gonna risk it, y'all. So anyways, like I said, I just wanted to cut y'all on real quick, show y'all the cars, show I haven't made a video of them in a minute, both of them at least. And so yeah, man, but let me go ahead and get to this garage, and then yeah. All right, grind schoolers, that's gonna be it for this video, man. I hope y'all enjoyed it. It was nothing crazy. I just needed to move the cars out the way so I could get to the Monte Carlo. Both batteries are dead in the Elko and the Impala now, so hopefully we can get to a place where that doesn't happen anymore once it starts to warm up. And I'll probably just invest in trickle chargers for all the cars so that throughout the winter we can keep them charged up so that we don't have any issues. The batteries might need to be replaced at this point. Just because the fact that, batteries really only last a few years until they start to decline. You know what I'm saying? That's why they only give you like a 36-month limited warranty or something like that, whatever it is. They used to be a lot longer. I used to work at O'Reilly's. Used to get like an 84-month warranty or a 72-month warranty, but they would prorate it. So like the first year would be like a full replacement, and then every year after that, you would get less and less for the battery that was in the car. So I don't know how they do it now, but realistically, I think all the cars need new batteries. So I think I'll invest in that. Probably not the red top. The red top I'll keep in the Elko because I think that one's good, but it did die. So I need to get that one jumped or charged up or something. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. with the Impala and the Elko, kind of how they're sitting, it would be kind of difficult. I might just push the car out and charge it, but when I pushed the Elko out, I didn't have the red top in there. I just got the battery that was on the shelf and I put it in here to see if it would start, and that battery was dead. So with all the batteries being dead, one common denominator being the cold or overnight and not driving them and all that kind of stuff, it's just a combination, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to get better at maintaining everything, making sure everything is good to go. But as you have multiple cars, it gets difficult, more and more difficult to do that, especially when the dailies need attention as far as, you know, you got to keep them rolling. Tires, batteries, everything got to stay, whatever. So these kind of get neglected in here, especially during the winter, because you can't really drive them, you know what I'm saying? Or they're not really that fun to drive. So anyways, like I said, I just need to get the cars out the garage. I was able to push them both out, and then I went ahead and used the Elko to jump the Impala so that the Impala started, and I used the wife's car to jump the Elko. And I wish I would have caught it on camera, but I did. I made I actually hit the Elko. I actually hit the Elko with the Honda, and it left a little tiny scratch on the bumper. I thought I cracked the whole entire bumper. I was so sick because I heard it crunch, and I was so sick at first because I thought that I cracked the whole entire bumper or crushed the whole entire bumper. The bumper on the Elko is fiberglass, so it's real easy to break. And so I thought it was over with, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. But anyways, man, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. Appreciate the love, support. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Always remember, work hard so you can live free.